What's up everyone, V here, and today I am really excited because I am going to be reviewing the Fondjoy, I think that's it, Superman from Superman! Again, was it at all, was it just Superman, or was it at some point called Superman Legacy and then just changed to Superman? Or is it still Superman Legacy? I don't know. But basically, the James Gunn Superman. Yeah, this, I don't know, completely lost my train of thought there. But yes, this is Superman as he appears in Superman by James Gunn. A movie I thoroughly enjoyed. Because I believe when I reviewed the McFarlane figure, who will get mentioned quite a lot in this video, it was before I saw the movie. And I have seen the movie. And, absolute cinema. I don't think I've ever come out of a movie wanting to be a better person, even though I'm already a pretty decent person. At least I think. But I genuinely was like, I'm gonna do better. You know, you think you're doing alright, I'm gonna do better than I am. I came out so inspired and hopeful, and I was like, my god. Absolutely loved David Cornsweet? Is that how you say his last name? I still don't know. Absolutely loved him as Superman. Lex was great. Their dynamic was great. God, I can't wait to see more of him. I will say, I think the suit looked better in the movie than I thought, but I'm still not the largest fan of it. Again, I just feel like it's a bit too baggy. I feel like they could do, again, like I mentioned, like they did with the Superman suit and Supergirl, where it's tight, but not like, because again, I think they mentioned they wanted to not have just the fake abs underneath, so they made it baggier, but I feel like they went too baggy. Like I mentioned, the McFarlane one, wish they did what they did with the CW Superman, where it's still tight, still skin tight, but it's not just like a big muscle suit underneath, it's just to the actor's body. So hopefully when we get Superman's appearance again in the DCU, it looks like that. Anyway, enough rambling about absolute cinema. It's time to talk about this figure and why I bought it. I had so much hype for the Superman movie, and I was like, I want a Superman figure. But then I remembered that McFarlane has the license still, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it another shot, even though every time I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot, and I get disappointed. I bought the McFarlane Superman, and there, you can check out that video on my channel. But in summary, I was really disappointed in it. I was hoping this would at least be the one to change my mind, or at least be a decent enough figure for me to enjoy, but I just didn't really enjoy it, and especially when you bring it next to this guy, who looks just not that great of a figure, in my opinion. Really disappointing. But whenever I was scrolling Instagram, I saw a couple posts of this Superman figure, and I was like, that looks really good. That looks like a really good figure. I want it. So I did some hunting. I found it on eBay for the small price of, I want to say, ended up being $50 with like shipping and everything, which a tad bit pricey, but I bought the deluxe version. There's two versions, because as you can see down here, there's a certain someone down here. You can buy it with just Superman. I believe it was only $30. I believe with Krypto, it's $40, because you'll see when the accessories appear, but you get a bit more. But I was like, I want Krypto. I'm gonna buy it with Krypto. But yeah, this video is way earlier than I anticipated. I did tease a bit, I think, in my Johnny Storm video, and just in my community tab and everything about it, but it came a lot quicker than I thought. It was supposed to arrive middle of August. It came like at the very end of July, which was really hype. And again, I've kind of been putting off the videos just because of laziness and was doing a bunch of stuff. But here we are. Here he is in all his glory. We'll see, is he a worthy Superman figure, or does it kind of fall flat like the McFarlane? Spoiler alert, it's really cool, and I like it a lot. But before we get into that, we get the box. You see a very nice shot of Superman flying, very reminiscent of the ZD Toys Deadpool figures. It is just a bit of a bigger box, but it's like the same type of vibe, the magnetic opening and everything. But as far as I know, they're not the same company. I don't know if this is officially licensed. I assume so, because it's got these stickers and stuff. It's one of those areas where it's like not like a main figure manufacturer. It's just some random company that you just never heard of before. So your first thought is, oh, knockoffs, right? But then it's like, but it seems officially licensed. But then, like, with the ZD Toys Deadpool and Wolverine figures, they didn't feel like premium quality figures. Whereas this Superman feels really good. Anyway. You got DC Studios Superman logo slightly raised. Superman slightly raised. Superman 1/9 scale action figure. Fondjoy. Random logos. Again, must be officially licensed because it has this sticker and all the logos. Superman, again, raised. Got a lot of comics in the background. Same thing on this side. On the back, nice shot of Supes. Attachment, posture. Just promo shots. And again, magnetic opening. Nice metallic blue. And of course the figure was stored in there. I took the little thingy out because you don't really need to see it. But I do like this. I do like these boxes. They feel quality. And they just look cool. Anyway, bringing in the Man of Steel. Is he called the Man of Tomorrow? That just came to my head. And I was like, is that legitimately a thing he is called? Because isn't, like, Superwoman the Woman of Tomorrow? Is he Man of Tomorrow? Is that a thing? Let me know in the comments below. If that's, like, a legitimate thing, or am I having, like a mental moment here. Anyway, accessory-wise, he comes with a good amount of accessories, which, again, he should, because a tad bit pricey. On him are fists, but you can get the, like, open hand, and sadly, they are like the McFarlane joints, which I hate. Ugh. I get why it's used, I don't like it, but it looks decent on him. They look like hands. And then, like, flat open hands. And I believe these are molded in tan, but might be painted in, like, a skin tone as well. But it looks more alive than these McFarlane figures' hands, man. You're good. If you're a McFarlane fan, you're probably gonna like this video, because I'm gonna be ripping on it. Because if you've been around with the channel a while, you know I have a disdain for McFarlane. Not that I, like, enjoy hating them. Like I said, when I bought that Superman figure, I was really hoping this would be the figure that changes my opinion on McFarlane, and I end up really liking it. It's just they let me down so many times. To the point where it's just, like, I have, like, 2 to 3 McFarlane figures that I genuinely think are really good, and that's it. And I own a lot of them. Anyway, he comes with a flight stand, because, hey, Superman be flying. Really tight ratchet. I am not... That's gonna break one day. But he's got clip, Superman logo. You can get them on here. and it can clip, and he looks great. But he stands well on his own, so you don't really need to like clasp him, but that's a cool display option. But again, he stands perfectly well. Another interesting, cool accessory that I wasn't expecting, you get this little like Daily Planet card, which is like Daily Planet Press, Daily Planet, Journalist, International Politics, Clark Kent. It's like just a genuine card, which is really cool. You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, it doesn't need to come with the figure. Could live perfectly fine with my life without it, but it's cool that it was added. Now, for the best accessory, Krypto, the reason why I spent all the money on this figure, as opposed to just the cheaper version. You get Krypto. I mean, come on, look at that. Krypto was a decent part of the movie. And I was like, why? I want it. I didn't get the one McFarlane figure with Krypto, because I think that's like some type of exclusive or something. That one also has a fabric cape, because this one has a fabric cape. I'm going to be mentioning probably liking the fabric cape, and I might rip on the McFarlane one later on. So I just want to mention that there is one with these. I just don't have it. But it looks good. You got a little bit of nice shading here. Got the cape, which is a separate piece, but is hard plastic. Got the Superman logo on the back. Looks really cool. I mean, scale's nice with them. Yeah, it's like the size. But you know what's better than one Krypto? Two Kryptos, because you get two Kryptos. You get one that's kind of flying. It comes with this tiny little stand, which doesn't really hover too high off the ground. So it kind of just looks like he's like mid-sprint than flying. But you still get Krypto flying. You got, is it the same face? It's slightly different. The mouth is slightly more closed, but head's a bit tilted, but it looks really cool. And I was like, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any posability at all, but like, I don't care. You get Krypto, you know? Really cool. Love Krypto in the movie. Reminded me exactly of my dog. My dog just be flying around the house and never listens to a word I say. So I was like, hey, it's just like my dog. Anyway, to Superman himself. Ooh. I feel like just looking at this figure, you can tell it's so much better than the McFarlane. Just like putting them side by side, you can just got so much more aura. I'm sorry. This figure's just so good. It fixes quite literally every single problem I had with the McFarlane. Proportions are perfect. The sculpt and detailing is crisp, is clean. It feels nice in the hand. Doesn't have the weird bent arm. Just, I don't know. Just everything that I just had a problem with the McFarlane is fixed here. He also isn't pale as a ghost because they actually molded it, I think, in a skin tone plastic and then like did like the face printing, which I will say though, the likeness on the McFarlane one was actually pretty good. It's just he has no soul behind these eyes, whereas this one has a soul, but it's just not as perfect, but still infinitely better figure. I'm sorry. It's just, I wanted to like it, but just, I mean, look at just how much sharper the detailing is. But yeah, dropped him. Bringing him in for a closer look, you get the head sculpt, which I think looks pretty solid. Now, some pics, it looks very fuzzy, and it is a tad bit fuzzy. I think they did the printing, but they're not, it wasn't perfect. Maybe it just came out just a tad bit too fuzzy. But it still looks a lot like him, which is really good. I mean, it's what you want, because like the figure arts, I contemplated getting that, but then I was like, that don't really look like him, if I can be honest. But this looks really good. Got the hair painted nice as well. And coming down to the chest, you just got that big, nice Superman logo. And there's a nice texture throughout the whole figure, which actually you can see, because this figure had the texture, but it's so very faint and just shiny for some reason. But he's got a nice matte to the blue, And just, oh, look at all that detailing. Everything just pops so well. The colors are brighter, which matches the movie a bit more. And again, just the way his posture, his like proportions, just, I feel, just looks so much better. Because he just looks so awkward and just strangely proportioned. I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks so awkward, where he looks confident, ready for battle. I don't know. Ready to save people's lives. But anyway, enough ragging on it. We'll just focus on how awesome this figure is. Just love all the raised detailing. It looks so good, and that texture. Love me a nice, realistic like texture on a figure, and it looks so good here. Got a little that plastic squeeze. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why I mentioned that. Whoa, the plastic makes noise when you move it. Whoa. Anyway, you got the trunks, the classic trunks, and like the McFarlane, it is a rubbery overlay. Then you got the belt painted brightly and really well. Then on the back, got some more detailing. Looks really solid. A little flat back there. Can't lie. Then the cape is like tethered into the top right there. So it does come down real nice. And it does have a wire in the cape. It's slight, it's not too insane, but it's just faint enough to be able to hold and make it sit really well. And then on the back, you got the S, which looks really cool. Then the legs got more of that nice texturing. And I will say one complaint I threw towards the McFarlane figure was that the boots didn't have any texture. I was wrong. The boots don't have texture in the movie. I thought they did. But also, just even the proportions on the boots, like, why is it so thick right there? This looks so much better. Anyway. But you got the boots. They look nice. They look solid. This figure just looks so nice. And also feels nice. He's fun to pose. He just moves so smoothly. And speaking of the articulation and movement, much better transition to the articulation than the Mr. Fantastic video. Oh, not a smooth transition. But yeah, I got I want to say ball hinge at the top of the head and the base of the neck. So we can look that far down and that far up. Not too far up. Again, I think, did I say ball hinge or dumbbell? It's dumbbell. Ball hinge is the one I prefer for flying figures, because I feel like you just can get it looking up so much better. But you can rotate. The neck keeps turning the wrong way. There we go. And bob. Arm rotates all the way around. Can shift up and down, oddly, but can move out that far. Bicep swivel. Nice double jointed elbow, nice and smooth. And then you got the weird universal joint, which I really hate. That, like, you can rotate it, but then you can also, like, bring it around to move it up and down. I don't care for it. It's really awkward to use. I'm afraid I'm always going to break in when you swap hands. At least on the McFarlane ones, they go flying. And then the figure arts ones, I'm always afraid I'm going to break it. It's just not a fan of it. Or rather just like Marvel Legends type peg. I just prefer that. It's much safer in my opinion. But again, it stops you from having to have figures with like up and down and in and out. You can do both with every hand. It's just not the largest fan. Then you got a diaphragm and then a maybe ball, something at the bottom. But you can arch really far forward. That's crazy. And decently back, which you would want it a bit back so that you can get looking up, because again, that's not the best flying pose. But still, rotates, bobs, can kick decently forward, decently back. Oh, is that a drop down hip? Pretty snazzy. I don't care for drop down hips too much, just because I've had so much torment with them in the past, but I'll be careful, but still pretty cool. Can do the splits. Again, how did I not know he had a drop down hip? Kinda rotates, double jointed knee, hinge up and down, rocker, and rotate, and a toe joint. So it does carry, at least waist down, very similar, honestly throughout the entire figure, very similar articulation to McFarlane. But like I just gotta say, this figure is is everything that I wanted the McFarlane figure to be. And just McFarlane figures in general to be. And like, this figure isn't exactly like groundbreaking. It's not like it has insane amount of paint and sculpting. It's basically the same. So I'm just like, come on. Like come on. Anyway. I love him so much. I saw there were more on the website, or at least the eBay, whatever I was looking at. It looked like they might have a couple more figures, and there were a couple Batman. I was considering it, but I was like, I'll see how Superman is, so maybe I'll buy a couple more, see what they're all about. But as it stands, this Superman figure is really cool, but how big is he? Really? He's really big. That's my biggest complaint, is that I wish it was in the 6-inch scale, because this figure's so cool. I'd love to put him with Avengers, but no, he is really big. Hey, a train. Anyway, here he is next to a Marvel Legends and a Star Wars Black Series, and yeah, just towering over Cody and Mr. Fantastic. But Transformers-wise, Shockwave, kinda a tad bit bigger. And then for Jazzwares Halo, got CE Master Chief, and then the aforementioned McFarlane DC Superman. And again, he's even taller than this guy. But yeah, do I recommend this guy? Absolutely. I feel like he's a good middle ground between, like, very pricey import figures and then just, like, McFarlane figures, where he's pricier than him, but not too pricey, like figure arts and stuff like that. I feel like it's in a nice middle ground, especially if you get the, like, not Krypto version. It's probably only going to be, like, $30 to $40. Mine was only as pricey because, again, I got the Krypto one, but I needed it. But again, just look at the difference between these two. Like, he can't even really stand. Again, I got this figure, was so disappointed, and this guy completely made up for it. Love him so much. Want to just give him even more bonus points purely because it just made me happy to have a really cool Superman figure of this really cool Superman. So honestly, solid 8-9 out of 10. Absolutely love this figure. Highly recommend it if you can acquire it. And again, it just feels good, because again, those Deadpool and Wolverine figures, they look cool, but they just didn't feel that great. But this guy feels really high quality and just such a blast to pose. Makes me so happy, because I feel like if you watched that McFarlane review, you get just... after getting this figure, I am just being more harsh to that Superman. I tried to be nicer to it in the video, but even then I feel like you could just tell my disappointment with the figure. But after getting this guy, I'm happy. It's glorious. So again, yeah, absolutely recommend this figure. Super fun, super cool. Yeah, that's about it. Like, subscribe. Check out my previous reviews. Dang it, I thought of a good joke. I could have said, man, this figure's pretty Superman. Can't start the sentence and then end it with man. This figure's pretty Superman. The joke's already ruined. Anyway, that's about it. Hopefully I have a wonderful day. And hopefully, if you're a space alien from another world who thought they came here to do good. Hopefully you don't find out that your parents were lying and they wanted you to just have like hella wives and rule Earth with a iron fist, because then a really bald guy will be mad at you. Also, they have a Lex Luthor figure, so I might get that as well. Anyway, peace.